Hey boys, time for a midweek update. And the market dropped a bit. I think it may stop here or we get a bit of a push up. Some short-term indications that we will get a reversal relatively soon is the bearish divergence in VIX. Like look at this, how big the gap is here. SPY is exactly on support on last week's low. It made an engulfing weekly candle here. Oh, no, sorry, not engulfing, that was the pre-market, but we took out the lows of the previous week here. It's also a backtest of this breakout trend line, and I think it's setting up to be bullish, very oversold on hourly RSI. 4 hour, not that oversold, but it's in the bounce zone. VVIX, you see that most reversal in VVIX on the 4 hour chart happen around this area. Yes, it sometimes goes higher, but I would consider this an exception, not the norm. So we're in that reversal zone as well. Same for VIX, it's pretty high on the 4 hour, and we should see a pullback soon. Whether this is the reversal or not, I don't know. I would say we retest 415 from here. If we lose this level, next major one is this low here. So let's draw it. So around 404. Yeah, 403, 404. Maybe we overshoot a bit, maybe we don't. But I think it holds here. Look, resistance, resist, support, support. Wasn't support. It tried to. It tried to do this support here, bounced, but then it dumped again. Overshot, resistance, then breakout, then support, support, and now we're at the midpoint ish. No, not the midpoint, but we're at this support zone here, and we could potentially even see it go as high as the recent highs, and I would not be surprised if it does. I think the what's it called, depth ceiling thing is kind of a nothing burger. Like, I'm glad it caused a drop, but wouldn't be surprised to see even this moving forward. And I set my short position went green. I set a stop loss to break even, and that stop loss triggered. It was at the top, I think like 10% up, but didn't care for 10%. Wanted to have a bigger win there, but it didn't come. Now I'm contemplating going some longs here, and I'll explain in a second. So first thing first, going back to the hourly chart on SPY, uh, you see that we're curling up. So let's assume we go up. What's the first place where we can stop? And it's most likely going to be this. So this is the first potential. I'll do them in dotted line. This is the first potential. This would be bearish. So our rejection here would be bearish. And the scenario here is we go up, maybe more like this. We go back, make a higher low here, then go up, and at 413 here we get a rejection, and we drop quickly down. Like, this is a requirement. The drop quickly down is a requirement. The slow drop is bullish. So the quick drop is this. We take out the low here, and we go towards the next target all the way down here. The slow drop version is more bullish. It's more like a higher low, and it's more like this probably, and go to 415, and then we see again. If this is recaptured quickly, we're most likely going in a scenario where we make a new high relatively soon. It's still dependent on depth ceiling. It's dependent on Nvidia earnings. Nvidia is dropping a bit now and broke some trend lines, but a good earnings from Nvidia can still cause a market-wide tech rally that takes us to the new highs. So still a very tricky situation. Took a sip of water there. Let's look at the other stuff on the daily as well. One other thing to note here on QQQ, this is the breakout point. So we wanted to see this. We want to see this breakout level retested. Let's see VWAP. We haven't reached this VWAP. Did we reach this one? Yeah, almost close to this. But this is the because the breakout happened here. There are unfilled buy orders that never got to be filled. So when price gets to this area here, those orders will provide support and probably cause a reversal. We didn't even get to that point yet, but if we get some kind of flush down, I would expect it to be an exhaustion move, and it finds buyers here at 328, and then we get a stronger reversal. Like even if the this does this like this, I would expect we will get a reversal and go back to this point. And this is now the intermediate resistance 331, 330. Uh, for the big drop to happen on Qs, we have to lose this trend line. So we have to this supply zone has to be a demand zone. Sorry, this demand zone has to not become support. Maybe it does this one backtest of 328, and then it should crater. Unfortunately, I don't think we get to see this during hours. If it happens, it will happen due to Nvidia earnings or the debt ceiling, and most likely would be outside the hours based on news. So if we're not in a position, we have to wait for the next day. Okay, so let's look at some individual names. Actually, let's finish the index wrap up. So VVIX, VIX, not a lot of room to go onto the next level. It's 2047, another dollar or so. VIX, VVIX is very high and it's already at resistance, like here. US 500 or sorry, let's do SPY, QQQ, QQQ equal weight. This one is interesting because it looks like a failed breakout. One of the reasons why I was kind of uncomfortable with the breakout from last week was exactly this. But now it's becoming a failed breakout. And what did we learn about failed breakouts? They cause or breakdowns, they cause the biggest counter moves. So if this is a true failed breakout and this doesn't turn into support, or even if it does briefly, the path is like this. Like this should drop like a stone relatively quickly if it fails to hold here. And let's make it a full line. And like this, which is 10%ish. IWM. So someone asked about breadth and if IWM going up is can be considered good breadth. No, IWM alone going up cannot be considered good breadth. Breadth is about how wide it is, meaning the more stock that go up, the bigger the better breadth is. So if only IWM goes up and the rest go down, then it's not a wide range rally. So how can breadth actually improve? It it it's better than everything dropping, but uh, not really a good situation. And what we're seeing here is a setup for um, a move up, a brief move up, like we had here, then a reversal, but sort of like this. We have this. I'll draw it on RSI first, like this. We then hold on support here. We go even higher quickly. RSI improves a lot, maybe even goes to overbought, up to 70. But price, let's say we go back to here, 172-ish, then it goes up, does this, and price, while RSI is at overbought, is barely at 180. And this, with RSI so high, there's a lot of room to drop. And when the thing finally turns, it will have a lot of room to drop because price didn't really go up a lot. But RSI went up a lot, and it's time to correct. So there will be a lot of room in RSI to fall, and but price will fall a lot more than RSI. The drop in price will be more brutal. DIA looking quite nasty, riding this trend line here in a negative way and doing that limp dick move. I think it holds here for now. We will see. Next level will be this. New York Stock Exchange looking very similar to DIA. Equal weight XPX, same shit. Uh, e Equal weight XPX over XPX, so that ratio. We are almost at the level from the top of the bull market. Very close to it. What happened afterwards? The bull market ended. But this is this is our true measurement of how wide a breath, because this if this keeps going down, it means bad breath. If this goes up, it means good breath. This is the Dow Jones Transportation Index. Looks pretty bad. Breakdown, maybe a breakout, go back here and then fall again. This is the New York Stock Exchange FANG index. It tracks FANG. Just let's compare to QQQ for fun. Quite a gap, huh? 11%, or let's call it a clean 10. So mega caps outperform QQQ by 10%. Crypto breaking down, Bitcoin hitting the AVWAP from the recent low. ETH, it went below it. Oil looking better, but going to hit resistance soon as well. And I'm still bearish on oil stock. Like even say the same thing I explained for RSI. You see, RSI is 49, okay, and the recent high was 62. RSI will get, let's say the rally continues. RSI will get to the same level in one or two candles like this. But another one or two candles like this is, I don't know what, this, meaning this top. Let's say this. And it's a decent level. But RSI will be very high. Price will be much lower than before. And with RSI being very high, price will likely start correcting because RSI will start correcting. And we will get that breakdown I've been forecasting for oil stock. I still believe that is the case. But one of my long ideas for today is BTU. Week of distribution. Textbook week of distribution, and we are going into the LPSY stage. And since oil got a small rebound, and I think it will continue for another day or two, I expect BTU going into this support here, going into very oversold on daily to do, this was drawn before, to do basically what I drew here. Maybe not as high as this, but still decently enough to go to 21. So that would be, assuming this, it would be like a 12% play if it does that. And with options, that's quite profitable. So I would expect BTU to start going up with oil relatively soon, and then and with energy in general, and then maybe do this for a while, and eventually have that big breakdown from the week of distribution, like this. Another thing I liked was PayPal. PayPal looks bottomy here. And I also have the delta profile, which showed 60 to be a very big level. So I I don't think PayPal is a buy now, but if it goes below 50, like it gets to a 58 or something like that, I'll be interested in getting a position because we're running out of calls. Any move below 60 is overextended to the downside. I don't think it fills this gap here. Sorry, not gap, or not necessarily fill the gap. But the next level is we got to 60. Next level would be 54, 55, and I think that is the extreme we can see without getting a rebound. And I'm not really that confident that we will get that low. So what I expect for it, even though I'm not getting a position yet, is to see something like this. Then it goes back, recaptures, then goes back here, maybe gets rejected at 67, 68 at this area, and then it can continue down. Other than that, 60 should be the 60 area will be support. If you find a good entry, I think it's a decent long. What I didn't like was Qualcomm. So Qualcomm breaking down, it lost this level here, which was pretty important. And now we actually have a gap fill for Qualcomm. Let's do this. And this is 100% a buy at 94.95. I would love for it to go there because I would be buying. Uh, what this can be is a fake out down to 100. So it might not go that low. 100 being a psychological level, it might find buyers. So let's say something like this. And then it goes back up. This might get a rejection at the previous resistance level and then go back down, or it might recapture and go back up. Uh, if you want to try it, I would suggest waiting for 100. If not, the 93, the gap fill here is the level where you should be buying. This can be can go either way. It's complicated. Expected to move as well based on Nvidia earnings. If Nvidia dumps, uh, I think 93 is a given for Qualcomm. Also like some of the Chinese stuff. Where was it? China. Okay, and Baba. Baba with a retest at the low, bullish divergence here, still going. Based on the delta, let's look at it. We are at 81. Very similar situation to PayPal. The difference being this is 80, that was 60. If it goes below 80, it runs out of calls, and I don't expect this to push significantly below 80. 75 would be the max I think it can reach, and that's kind of it. I don't think it gets to 75. I think it just does a push below 80, then recaptures, goes out, and eventually breaks out here. But it can be tricky. I think Neo XPEV they dumped because XPEV announced 45% less cars delivered in Q1 or something like that. I don't know. And PDD, this is an earnings play. I kept seeing bullish flows on PDD, and it's not going lower. It had delta support as well, similar to Baba and PayPal. And earnings is on Friday. I think it's worth a gamble on an earnings play given the bullish flows that have appeared on this name the last couple of weeks. Ever since last week. I think they started coming in around here, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. It caused this spike. It kept try going up again. This was going down with the market, and it's still hovering around here, not making new lows. So I still think it's a decent play, but like any earnings play, it can go either way. If it breaks down, let me check the delta. It's 60. Yeah, probably like 50, between 55 and 60 is the low range. So looking at this, probably this, like 50, 56, and it's this level here, maybe lower to hit this week. Something like this. Yeah, the 55. What else did we have? I wanted to look at the limb dick pattern of DE. It had earnings. Earnings were good. It spiked up pre-market, but we then got this huge red dildo, and the limb dick pattern is playing out. It was this, and target is 330. Do we have an intermediate level for this one? I guess it's this. It's almost right here. This. This would be the intermediate level for DE. 349. Yeah, 350 probably. CLF card kind of doing the same. Uh, Tech breaking down and FCX with a delay. Like we had the copper breakdown last week, and this these two stayed relatively resilient until then. Copper probably goes to, oh my god, it's dropping like crazy. So we got to 355 today. The actual target is 330. So another, how much is it? 8% from here? 7% ish, which should be reflected in FCX as well. What's 7% down from here? Pretty decent-ish. It's an actual level, like this low here, highs, this low. So first target is 32 and then 30, yeah. 30 is probably it for FCX. And for tech, gap fill jumps the naked eye, probably this. Gap fill and then this. This is an overshoot. So 44, 35. But gap fill, I wouldn't touch it until it fills the gap. Anything else interesting? Zim dumped like crazy. Let's do a quick look at. Oh my god, the STS got an ugly rejection here. CVS still looking good. We saw Pfizer with the big bounce. I think it's just a matter of time until CVS joins the party. Healthcare is holding up well, and I think uh, it will become bullish very soon. This with a breakdown. Intermediate level will be this here. So 88, but 85 seems to be the target. Qualcomm talked about it. Microsoft, Farfetched was on earnings beat. It went up. I think this one is a buy. I like this one a lot. If we get the gap fill here at 441, I think it's a buy. Very tricky spot. Like, look, Apple testing the uptrend trend line. When this breaks, it's not good. Monster finally breaking down. Oh, this one I wanted to see. AMD lagging. CLF losing horizontal support here. 13 is next, if it doesn't reverse soon. Arch very similar to BTU. Well, it's more advanced in the LPSY part, so that's a bit concerning for BTU. Maybe I'm not touching it after all, because it's already doing that Saturday movement and it's close to breaking down completely. Gold with a big wedge breakdown. Plug had a couple of big days. Another example of that RSI going up, but price not really going that high. Example here. You see how this is. RSI went pretty high, but price basically doing this, and I think it's preparing to do another big move down. And even though RSI might not be lower, price will be lower. And the trigger is if it loses this low here at 150, 153-ish, and target would be probably this 144 for end phase, 143, 44. For solar, I was looking at it over the weekend and that it looked kind of bullish to me. Like you see this looks bullish, and if it doesn't go for new lows soon, I think this will squeeze up again. Moderna went up yesterday and back down now. But also Moderna, I think it went hand in hand with Pfizer. No, Pfizer went the day before yesterday. So the idea is healthcare is kind of waking up. It's gonna be spazzy near the lows for a while, like maybe a couple of weeks max, but it's inevitably going up. Okay. Crowd looks interesting for a short if it gets to this 150. I expect earnings to be seldom news because this is the earnings run up. Like earnings was good for other people, so this was a sympathy buy for crowd. And when earnings comes in, they the people who sympathy bought and anticipation bought, unless the earnings are really good, should start selling and make it drop. DraftKings went to the AVWAP like I said, and now it's dropping and it should do the other thing I said. Roblox looking quite kind of bullish here. This is a bull flag, bull wedge, whatever you want to call it. And it has a very nice part target and is quite squeezable as a stock to fill this gap here, which has remained so far unfilled. I fucking hate this stock, but 47, 48 to 45 seems decent. Lulu hit resistance, dropping now. Holy shit, wing just won't die. And this RSI pattern is bullish now. Like this is the... I just want this thing to die. I don't even care if I have a position or not, but... And if we go on the lower time frame, we will see a falling wedge here as well, something like this. Actually, I put it like this. Bull flag. But most likely this is the last one. Like I can, it's invisible that it will be a lower high on RSI. So it will do this, bearish divergence. This will go up to here probably. And then it will have the big reversal down. Walmart, yeah. G is inconclusive. Oh, Square broke out. Yeah, that's it for now. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye bye.